Belonging in times of uncertainty and stress. So, I thought long and hard about this week's blog and decided that perhaps it would be better for me to do a video instead of writing my blog. And I think part of that is needing for people to need to see each other. I think it's been difficult for everybody being so far away and having to isolate to an extent. And so it's kind of nice, even though I'm not in the same space as all of you are, to imagine myself that I'm sitting and having a conversation with you. The first thing I want to say about belonging is I'm not a psychologist. I have many, many years of experience in education and doing educational research, of mentoring, of being a teacher leader, and then a principal and a director at a college. And all of those experiences, including my life experiences, have added to my ability to be able to see things from different points of view and also to understand people's feelings and to be able to communicate with people who might not normally be able to assess themselves, reflect on what they're doing, and to be able to express their emotions very well, including adults, children. And the reason why I'm doing this right now, and the reason why I think the topic is so timely, is because worldwide I feel this sense of stress, anxiety that the uncertainty of the moment is causing. I can see everybody beginning to sort of collapse into themselves to a certain extent. And so this isn't meant as a pep talk, but it's trying to sort of support all of you and to perhaps help you realize that there's a lot more going on in a positive direction than in the direction that would be causing your stress. And so here I am. And so I've been writing and talking about belonging for a while now, actually over a year. And this is due to my original reflections about my own life and why I feel comfortable in two completely different systems, cultures, languages, parts of the world. And I'm not saying this is for everybody, but I'm saying the more that I read about belonging, and this is psychologists, scientists, neurologists, the realization is that we may be looking at belonging in different ways and calling it different things, but belonging is really the bottom line of our ability to remain calm, the ability to remain happy, and for our success in life, and for our students for their ability to achieve and engage in their learning. And so I've put a couple of prompts here just to guide me and to start the conversation going, because obviously this will be an ongoing and is an ongoing conversation. So what is belonging? Belonging is being able to feel safe, comfortable, calm, be able to take risks, to be able to reflect, to be able to talk about our emotions in a way that doesn't cause us stress. And when we feel we belong, and that is a sense of belonging, when we feel we belong, we're able to achieve so much more. Our mind is clearer. We feel calmer. And the scientists, the psychologists that have been studying belonging, and more recently, in fact, there is a lot more awareness of how much how important it is and how much it affects our ability to be able to cope, to be resilient, all of those things that we talk about when we talk about social and emotional learning, social and emotional ability, our ability to self-regulate, to feel self-confident, to have self-efficacy. All of that is related to belonging. One of the things I've started talking about is belonging before Bloom. There has a lot been written about Maslow before Bloom. I'll be talking more about that, but Maslow, I believe, had it backwards. Maslow put self-actualization at the top of the pyramid. But if we're really looking at belonging, self-actualization or being able to feel motivated on our own intrinsically is really at the bottom. And we can't accomplish anything else, including other types of belonging and feeling like we belong in any kind of situation without having that self-belonging first. And so the most important thing that I want to, because I don't want this to be too long, but I really want to emphasize the importance of being able to focus and calm ourselves when we're feeling stressed. So for example, I see and read and hear a lot of my PLN, a lot of my friends, colleagues, and so forth that are either parents and or teachers, feeling the stress of making decisions for their children, for themselves, based on their own circumstances about going back to school. For those of you who are already back at school, some were back at school, in physical school, and then all of a sudden had to be back online. Some of you have been online for months, and there's a lot of talk about how that affects all of us psychologically and emotionally, but especially for children, whatever age the children are. It could be young children, it could be middle school, high school, it could even be college students. Students have now begun to voice their concerns about their circumstances. There are people that you can hear on both sides. People who are fine with the fact that online learning is working, or at least online learning is keeping them safe. And for those who believe that we should really try to get back into the schools because that will be better for us. But I think what it all boils down to is, where do we feel safe? And those safe spaces are here. How and where we feel safe is what we create that safe place to be. And that safe place could be going to school online and being in our home. That safe place can also be in a classroom. And so I think what we need to do is reframe exactly how we're looking at our situations. And there's so much that we're being bombarded with, so much information, so many new things. I know there's a group of several educators and parents here in Kuwait who are extremely concerned about the fact that Kuwaiti government schools, the public schools, closed down in March. Students in the 12th grade are going back now for 5 weeks and then doing exams. Other students, grades 1 or K to 11, are waiting to go back in October. Some of the private schools are going back sooner than that. All of them have been required by the government to be online. And there are a lot of debates about all of that. Are children being well served by online learning? What are they? We know that they need that contact with others. Can they get that online? Are there ways for us to do that online? What's the safest way to go back to school? Is that in the building? And everybody agrees, I hope, that it really depends on where you are. If you're in Thailand, where my son and son-in-law are, my son-in-law has a 4th grade class and he's back in school, physically distanced. His kids are there for a regular school day and they wear their masks all day long. And he's been back in school for several days now. And they're managing. Is it the same as it was last year when they were in school all together as a class? No, it's different. But thinking outside the box and thinking about the kinds of things that we can do to make them feel like it is still okay. And of course, in Thailand, the number of cases is fairly low or almost non-existent because the government clamped down right away. And they're aware, the whole school is aware, all the education system is aware that at any moment that could change and they might need to either go back online or do something else. Is their situation perfect? No, it's not. Do they manage every single day and everybody is happy all day long? No. The kids toward the end of the day get tired of having their masks on. And of course, it's not comfortable for a teacher to have a mask on all day long and be speaking, but they manage. A lot of that has to do with the mental mindset that we're in when we're going into these situations that are uncertain. So I know there's a lot been presented online, and I love the fact that there are so many teachers who are being proactive and coming up with ideas for what does it look like if I'm online? How can I make sure to be communicating with parents as well as the children? For school systems to try to be more sensitive and schools to be more sensitive to what parents are going through. And I know there are a lot of decisions that have to be made. But the idea of belonging is, do we feel safe? Do we feel safe? And I think that's the first thing and the most important thing for everybody to focus on. Where do we feel safe? And I think when I hear and see teachers and parents writing about their anxiety and the uncertainty and their stress, it to me symbolizes the fact that they don't feel safe. They don't feel their children are safe, whether it's health in terms of catching the virus, whether it's the mental stress or the difficulty with dealing with the fact that they're not with their peers, for parents who are worried about the fact that they have to go back to work and aren't sure how they're going to handle childcare and so forth. But I think the decisions that need to be made personally and professionally are, and I see many people making them, are what makes me feel safe? What will make me feel that my children are safe? What, as a parent, how do I feel safe? And we can't feel like we belong until we feel safe. And so that's my first message of this very first blog, vlog, whatever you want to call it, pep talk, is there are all kinds of things going on in our bodies related to the nervous system. And when we're concentrating on the uncertainty and the stress of the moment, that kicks in the system that is going to cause us anxiety, extreme anxiety. And it is very difficult to make any kind of decisions unless we are sure that we have that ability to reduce that stress because we feel safe. So that's my first vlog. I hope I didn't ramble too much, and I hope that I was able to help you with the feelings that you're feeling, and I look forward to having more conversations with you. If you're listening to this and have some feedback, or comments or questions, please make sure to contact me and let me know what they are. I'd love to be able to respond to them. And I hope that you all have a great week. And please remember that you need to focus on feeling safe and so that you feel your sense of belonging. Have a good week.